The woman who killed the king with a millstone. Judges 9 verses 50 to 57. A ruthless king lay dying, his skull crushed by a millstone dropped by a woman. In his final moments, he begged his servant to kill him so no one would say a woman had defeated him. This is the story of King Abimelech, a tale of power, pride, and the ironic justice that brought him down. Abimelech was a man who wanted power at any cost. He was the son of Gideon, a great judge of Israel, but unlike his father, Abimelech was greedy and cruel. Gideon had refused to be king, saying, "The Lord is your ruler." But Abimelech didn't care about God or his father's legacy. He wanted to rule, and he was willing to do anything to make it happen. One day, Abimelech went to his mother's family in Shechem. "I am your flesh and blood," he said. "Wouldn't it be better for one of your own to rule over you? Remember how my father saved you from your enemies. Now, support me, and I will be your king." The leaders of Shechem were swayed by his words. They gave him 70 pieces of silver from the temple of their god, Baal-berith. With this money, Abimelech hired mercenaries, soldiers who would fight for pay, not loyalty. These men were reckless and violent, just like Abimelech. With their help, Abimelech went to his father's house and killed all 70 of his brothers. Only one, Jotham, escaped by hiding. Abimelech then declared himself king, and the people of Shechem accepted him. But his reign was built on blood, and it wouldn't last long. For 3 years, Abimelech ruled over Shechem. But the people soon realized he was a tyrant. He didn't care about them, he only cared about his own power. They began to resent him and plot against him. One day, a man named Gal came to Shechem. He was a troublemaker who saw an opportunity to stir up rebellion. "Who is Abimelech?" he shouted to the people. "Why should we serve him? He's just the son of Gideon, and we are the descendants of Hamah, the founder of this city. We should rule ourselves." The people of Shechem listened to Gal and turned against Abimelech. They began to ambush his men and rob travelers on the roads, trying to weaken his control. When Abimelech heard about the rebellion, he was furious. He gathered his men and devised a plan to crush the uprising. He divided his forces into groups and sent them to attack Shechem from different directions. The battle was brutal. Abimelech's men stormed the city, killing everyone in their path. They set fire to the fields and destroyed the crops, leaving nothing for the people to survive on. The streets ran red with blood as Abimelech took his revenge. But the people of Shechem didn't give up. They retreated to the temple of Baal-berith, their god, which was also a strong fortress. They locked themselves inside, hoping to escape Abimelech's wrath. Abimelech wasn't done. He ordered his men to bring wood and pile it around the temple. "We'll burn them out," he said. As the flames rose, the people inside the temple grew desperate. They knew they couldn't survive the fire. But one woman, whose name we don't know, looked down from the tower and saw Abimelech standing below. She was filled with anger and determination. She picked up a millstone, a heavy stone used for grinding grain, and dropped it from the tower. The millstone struck Abimelech on the head, crushing his skull. He fell to the ground, mortally wounded. But he wasn't dead yet. In his final moments, Abimelech called to his servant. "Draw your sword and kill me," he said. "I don't want people to say a woman killed me." His servant obeyed, ending Abimelech's life. But it was too late. The story of his death spread quickly, and everyone knew the truth. A woman had brought down the mighty King Abimelech. Abimelech's story is one of pride and irony. He wanted to be remembered as a powerful king, but instead, he is remembered for his shameful death. He thought he could control everything, but in the end, he couldn't even control how he died. The woman who dropped the millstone wasn't a soldier or a warrior. She was just an ordinary person, pushed to her limit by Abimelech's cruelty. Her act of defiance became a symbol of justice, a reminder that even the smallest person can stand up to tyranny. Abimelech's story teaches us that pride and cruelty always lead to downfall. No matter how powerful someone seems, they can't escape the consequences of their actions. And sometimes, justice comes from the most unexpected places, like a millstone dropped from a tower. And so, the story of King Abimelech serves as a powerful reminder. True strength isn't about power or pride. It's about humility, justice, and the courage to stand up for what's right.